Hi everybody, I'm Joe and I'm here to tell you today about my team. Today is kind of a unique build that I really like. It's 3 rounds, 400 points, but the thing is, you use a different team every single round. So for this we had to compose 3 different 400 point teams. I believe the only restrictions were no resources and your base size had to be 1 by 2 maximum. I thought about what to bring, like a couple different variations, but I haven't gotten to play much of my Star Trek stuff lately. So I went with a pretty nerdy composition. My team is, well, my first round team is ships that have appeared in Next Generation. My middle round team is going to be ships that have appeared in DS9. And my third round team is ships that have appeared in Voyager. So I'm basically going chronological down the line. The Next Generation ships I have, just kind of go over them really quickly. Now I should point out that none of these teams are what I would call competitive. The Star Trek HeroClix are really kind of designed to be played with each other. There's not a whole lot of indom in the set, there's not a whole lot of move and attack, and for the most part the attack values are pretty lucky if they get over 9. So I'm not expecting to win a whole lot today, but I think I'll have a good time because I haven't gotten to play much of these lately. So on my Next Generation team, I have the USS Jaeger, which was a ship that appeared in First Contact, the USS Sutherland, which was one of the ships that, well, the ship that Data controlled during the Klingon Civil War, the Battleship Enterprise, which was a more souped-up, aggressive Enterprise from an alternate timeline, and the USS Fearless, which was the ship that hosted the Traveler, who eventually turned Wesley Crusher into a god. Eventually. Man, that was a bad arc. So that's my Next Generation team. I don't know a ton about the ships because even though I've watched Next Generation a few times, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite of the Treks. So let's move on to Deep Space Nine. And with Deep Space Nine, we have the USS Yosemite, which is a ship that, this is, out of all of them on my team, this is the one that I can't remember where it appeared. The card definitely indicates that it was a Deep Space Nine appearance, but I can't think of it. Like the captain's name, Captain Jack Swift, does not ring any bells to me. But it's a Deep Space Nine ship, and I needed a 50-pointer, so it's going in the pile. The USS Defiant, of course, was Captain Sisko's flagship, the ship that had stealth technology in accordance with the treaty with the Romulan Empire in order to fight the Dominion. I can see Matt behind the camera just smirking at me. The USS Venture, which showed up a few times to assist against the Dominion, and I think they were involved in some of the Klingon stuff. The Robinson, which was the Jem'Hadar ship that Sisko had control of. It was the one that they were turning into a spy ship. And the Belrophon, which was, I think that's how you pronounce it, Belrophon, which was Admiral Ross's flagship and showed up a good bit in the course of the Dominion War. Alright, and now move on to my favorite of the 3 franchises, even though everybody says it's the worst. Well, maybe not the worst, but not the greatest. I like it, and these are also the 3 ships that I know the most about. So I'll start with the most boring. The USS Rhode Island appeared in the final episodes of Voyager. It was Captain Harry Kim's ship in the future that he used to at first try to arrest Admiral Janeway as she was attempting to go back in time and alter the events of what happened in the Delta Quadrant. The USS Prometheus, which is from the episode Message in a Bottle, where they used a Hirogen data stream to send the Doctor's program to the Alpha Quadrant where they saw an experimental Federation ship, only to find out that it was overrun by Romulans, and the EMH had to work with the EMH Mark II, regrettably played by Andy Dick, in order to take out the Romulans and seize control of the ship again. That was the first contact they had with the Federation since they were trapped in the Delta Quadrant by the Caretaker. And then finally, probably my favorite, from the episode Living Witness, the warship Voyager. Living Witness was a cool episode that took place about 700 years after the series took place. An alien race reactivated a backup program of the Doctor, only for him to find out that that race thought that Voyager was this horrible, oppressing force that was involved in their war. To the point where their fiction about Voyager involved them using like genetic weapons and all this horrible things, and like the cast was all over the top evil with like black gloves, and like Chakotay had like a full half face tattoo. It was just wildly over the top and ridiculous. So this is actually a ship from a what if version of Star Trek Voyager. It was really one of the better episodes. Pretty much anything with EMH was pretty much golden in Voyager, and that was one of the best episodes. So that's my really nerdy team and my little nerdy rant about it. But yeah, I'm not expecting to win today. I'll be happy if I KO a couple pieces. I mean, like, let me KO some Atlanteans, I'll consider the day a victory. But yeah, that's my team. These ships are all fairly deep dialed, but by the same token, they don't have a whole lot going for them aside from that. Like, I'm looking right here and I see the Yosemite has a leap climb on its movement ability. That's super useful for a ship with flying. That's basically it. So thanks for watching.
And whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, well, we're at the end of the tournament. My team actually did way better than I thought it would. I went 2-0, and the one that I lost, I was 1 click of damage away from winning it. So the ships did way better than I thought. My first round was against kind of a hodgepodge with Despero, the Chase Greed, and Isaac. And that was my next generation ships. Battleship Enterprise was my MVP. Later on in the dial, it gets willpower with penetrating psychic blast, and it has a trait that increases its damage by 1 when it has an action token, so it utilizes that willpower. My second round was my Deep Space Nine ships, and my opponent had the gravity feed Lex Luthor from the recent Trinity War, and the new Hulkbuster chase. And that I somehow managed to win because I was using my DS9 ships. Admiral Ross's ship used Outwit to take away the Invincible, and once the Invincible was gone, Captain Cisco piloting the Defiant had a nice 4 damage. So there's some lucky rolls in there, but the Outwit really, really hurt Hulkbuster. So I was able to take the 2 of them out, and that was one that really surprised me. But it was a fun match. As soon as Hulkbuster went down, I had this sigh of relief, and like I only actually lost 1 ship during the entire match. Like I think it was the 50-point. I want to say it was the Yosemite, the one that I couldn't identify. I didn't know where it was from. The round 3, that was one I lost. I went against the Nemesis Colossal from, I think it was back from like Giant Size X-Men. And I knew going into it, it was not going to go well because I worship Voyager, the Rhode Island, and Prometheus. None of them have move and attack on their opening click except for Prometheus, which was 3 damage. And I'm fighting this thing that has impervious and it heals every time it hits somebody. Just really brutal, like running shot pulse wave. Warship Voyager died almost instantly. I don't think I got to make an attack roll. But here's what my saving grace is that I picked the Delphic Expanse map, which has like nebulas that at the end of every round you roll dice and everybody adjacent to one of them gets 1 penetrating damage. There was nowhere he could sit where he wasn't adjacent to at least one of them. That was pretty much my only source of damage. The Warship Voyager didn't last long. The Prometheus died with a crit miss when it landed on penetrating psychic blast. If I would have hit that, I would have won. But it came down to Harry Kim, Captain Harry Kim from the future in the Rhode Island. He was my last man standing, and he came super close. I had him positioned right in between numbers 5 and 6 on the nebulas, and if I would have rolled a 5 or 6 that round, he would have been gone. But as it was, couldn't happen. But still, they did way better than I thought. Dice were definitely on my side. Also, against any like big one-man army like a Hulkbuster, I had ships that could theme prob. I had ships that could outwit. I just had more attacks coming at them, so that really came good. I mean, I think I did good for a team that's mostly 3 damage with 9 attack. I'm pretty sure that the Robinson has a dial that's like 15 unprotected with 1 damage and 7 attack. For these ships, I did good. I consider today a victory, even though I'm not going home with a prize. So yeah, this is pretty good, and I really hope we do this 3-team format in the future because it was a lot of fun. Thanks.